Hi, I'm Londa. Subscribe to my channel here on YouTube to save yourself money and to get rid of any and all stress as you learn my how-tos for creative sewing. Today I'm going to teach you the way that I figured out to put in fly front zippers way back when I was making my little boy his dress pants for church and Sunday school. I feel also that women's and men's laps should lap in opposite directions, and that the way they lap should be the same as what it would be on the top that you're wearing. So women's shirts and blouses lap right over left, because women are always right. That's how I remember that. We put our buttonholes in the right side, whereas men's shirts are lapped left over right. So that's why I like my things to lap the same way. What I'm going to show you today is lapping right over left. All you would have to do would be to just reverse things to have it lap the opposite direction. The pattern change is very simple. All you need to do is add a 2-inch extension from where your original cut line would be out. So do you see, from the original cutting line, I went out 2 inches. Just cut a curve and straight up. You can also see that what I've done is I have interfaced what's going to be this top section. So I've interfaced the extension on the right front. While you have it all flat, you also want to do some marking, and I do that by snip marking. I'm going to snip in where the original seam line would have been and also where the original cut line would have been, and I do that through both layers. What I've done for the left side of the zipper, the underlap side, is that I have used one of those clips which indicated the original cut line, so that I have pressed it back, do you see? And then I've just taken that fold and set it along the left side of the zipper coil. Then what I did with my zipper foot attached to the left of the needle and then adjusting the needle to where I wanted it, I've simply stitched right up here along this pressed in fold, butted right up against this side of the zipper. That makes the underlap side. Now to start to attach the right side to the zipper, what I've done is I've pressed back right along that interfacing line, which was the original seam line for the garment, and I have aligned those clips. Do you see why I did the clips? And I have pinned it down through all the layers. I have switched the zipper foot to the opposite side, and now what I do is flip that right front back away, exposing the extension on the zipper. I feel for the zipper coil, and I'm simply going to stitch. What I'm doing is I'm attaching this zipper tape to this fabric. This step actually installs the zipper. All I'll have left to do is the top stitching. So now you see, for all intents and purposes, the zipper is actually installed to both the left and the right front. What I need to do, however, is to stitch this uppermost layer to this extension, and that's really just the top stitching. So with my pins still in place, I have now installed my regular presser foot, and leaving nice long threads on both the bobbin and the top. Make sure I've got it from the bobbin. I want to feel for that metal stop to the zipper, because if I run into that with my needle, it will break my needle. I have also made for myself a template of the finished stitching line. So I simply cut it out of a manila file folder, and I drew along it with one of these Frixion markers that's going to go away when I hit it with the heat of an iron. So now I have a stitching line to follow. Whoops, it seems as if I've managed to draw that line right where I would hit that stop. So I'm going to aim for above that stop. I'm going to take maybe one stitch backwards. Okay. Stitching on the line with needle down on. The other thing that I can tell you to conscientiously do is to push the fabric kind of northeast towards the needle, because there's always going to be the tendency for the top layer to creep along, making this side longer and creating some diagonal pulls. You could install a walking foot, but if you have integrated dual feed on your machine, that's a feature that you'll find on Pfaff's and now also Bernina's. Be sure to engage that. So do you see how I'm kind of pulling this fabric towards the needle and up to the upper right? Once that's all done, I can remove my pins and you can see that the zipper is installed. You'll note that I used a longer zipper so that I at no time was maneuvering around this tab, an issue. Really worth its weight in gold for the little bit of extra money that it might cost. In addition, you can see that the color of the zipper really wouldn't matter because with this technique I've worked out, it's really back far from the center front fold. Some installations you can see the zipper right there and you'd have to have a good color match. The final step would be to take this top long thread and pull it to the back side, and you can do that by pulling the bobbin thread, taking a pin and getting that loop, which would happen easier if I hadn't backstitched. So at this point what I would do is I would thread this on a needle, poke it in, then I would tie a knot with both threads, then I would thread both of those threads on a needle and stick it down between the layers, poking the needle out and then cutting. I never cut close to a knot. I always thread my threads on a needle and bury it within the layers and then snip my threads. So that is my fly front zipper. You will find this technique for you step by step, along with lapped zippers, centered zippers, and invisible zippers with my special hints on how you do each and every technique in my Zipper Manifesto, which is available at my website for just $6. As Melanie said, that's the price of a
combo meal.
Combo meal, right. It will make your zipper installation totally painless. Thanks for joining me. The link is at the bottom at londas-sewing.com. For a constant stream of sewing fun, follow me and subscribe to my social media channels.